Hello everyone, and welcome back to my Let's Play series for Castlevania Aria. I am S.A.N, and when we last left off, we just made our way through the clock tower and defeated Death, and we had obtained the Skula soul, which I'm pretty sure is meant to be a mispronunciation of Scylla, a creature of Greek mythology. It lets us move around underwater, and that's the clue where we need to head next. Alright. So if you will recall, at the bottom of the base of the clock tower here, there was an underwater passage that we couldn't get to yet. That's where we need to head to get out of here. And following that, we will be proceeding to, head to the next area. We also found the first of the ancient books last time. I'm sure you all remember that. That told us the first of the 3 souls we need to get the good ending of this game. Alright, it's right here. I'm pretty sure going to the right is the way to get out of here, but I think there's something over here that might be worth getting. Yeah, well, that devil is no match for my holy sword at this point. Ow. Ow! This is why the clock tower is one of the most annoying areas in every Castlevania game ever. Tons of flying enemies, tons of traps. Oh! Yeah, okay, there's something over there. I think it's another weapon, but I'm pretty sure the sword I have currently is better. Can't go that way, okay. So that was a complete waste of time. Ow. And nope. Alright, so the next area we'll be heading toward is called the Underwater Reservoir, or Underground Reservoir. And I've been petrified. Also, I should probably switch back to that, and I should probably heal before I die. Alright. Yeah, we're almost at the area we need to be at. As you can see, it just links up there. But let's take the teleport back just so we have this active. I cannot remember if we ever actually need to come back to the clock tower or not. But let's stop by and pick up some supplies before we head out. Yeah, sort of. Literally said. No, I don't need this anymore. Yeah, I used all my mind-ups in the fight against Death, so I want to pick up more of those. Good. We can start buying higher level potions now. Yeah, so, as I said before, Mina sometimes will give hints from Arikido where to go. In this case, he's telling us what I just told you. We need to go underwater. Fortunately, we already have the means of doing so. Unfortunately, in this game, unlike the later ones, it's an enchantment soul, not an ability soul. Alright, there are two ways we can go to get to the Underground Reservoir. One's right here, and the other one is a bit further along where we got the Flying Armor Soul. Where we eventually got into the floating gardens. But I think I'll go this way just because it's closer. I think we can go this way. Yeah, so this is part of the Underground Reservoir. So this is a massive area. It basically spans underneath the majority of the castle. As you can see, we actually could have gone this way earlier, which is why there's a pendant of very low grade equipment there. Alright. Alright, so let's switch to the Onion Soul for a moment, because we can leap up here. We don't have to butcher these mermen. We can just literally let them walk off the ledge there, and okay, we have to deal with those ones. The Elfin Robe. This should be, yeah. It gives me a slight penalty to my strength, but it gives me plus 10 to my intelligence, which is very good, and it's better armor. Definitely worth picking up. This actually might be the armor I wear for the rest of the game, except for there are better ones, obviously. But intelligence is quite powerful because it boosts the strength of my guardian souls, as you've already seen. As you've already seen my fight against death, they are my primary form of both offense and defense at this point. Alright. This man-eater here, this kind of ocular sea cucumber parasite thing living inside his skull, offers one of the best soul upgrades for the merman soul. And it is probably one I really like getting, so I'm probably going to, once again, cut this part out and just get its soul really quickly, because, as you can see, fighting it in this environment is annoying. And time-consuming. It's basically just an upgrade to the, it's those ripple lasers there you can see. Quite common in Konami games because, well, Galaga. Alright, I want to show you this sword first. This is called Rahab's sword. Stronger than the Mistletoe, however, it does ice damage, which is good in a lot of ways. However, because of so many enemies are actually weak to holy damage in this game, the Mistletoe tends to outclass it in damage. Anyway, just gonna heal here. And much like I've done before, this will probably be one of the last times I have to do this. I'm going to try and farm this soul just so I can get it to replace my merman soul, which is being outclassed a lot by damage at this point. It'll just be a moment. Alright, that took about 5 minutes. Still, 5 minutes you don't have to sit there. It's pretty tough, actually, to fight that thing. Alright. But this is does considerably more damage and actually lingers, meaning you can hit twice. Oh. And I just get the needle soul, which is kind of meh. Alright. Alright, these undead crusaders are kind of the upgraded skeletal swordsmen, as you can see. And they have an annoying trick where they can basically block all your attacks. Unless they're stuck in another animation. Annoying to fight, which is why you decide you can just avoid them. Oh yeah. I went up a few levels farming that too. And as you can see, this is why I'm using the Mistletoe, because it does a lot of damage. Ah, Super Potion. That restores all my health, but there aren't many of them in the game, so definitely save those. Oops. Alright. Yeah, this is where we come down the other way. Ah, I am poisoned. Alright. Anti-venom. Fish out of water. Yeah, the killer fish aren't really a right. In general, like full stop, but they are a joke out of water. And that includes the soul you get from them. Can't really use it out of water. I'm poisoned again. Oh, well. Save point. That will heal me up. Alright, that thing you just saw go speeding by at the speed light is actually a creature. And you can technically try and get it. And speaking of which, here's the big golem we fought earlier. Like I said, at this point we've reached the point in the game where all the bosses going forward are unique bosses, and all the other ones are regular enemies again. Yeah, watch out for those disc armors. They're spinning blades. They will just come off in on ramps like that. Alright, more anti-venom. I'm using a lot of it at least. Is it this way? Oh, another mandrake. As I said earlier, poison is not a big deal in this game. It will just go away on its own. And you don't take damage from it. This isn't like later Castlevania games. In this game, it just lowers all your stats. Annoying, but not really life-threatening. You can see why I like the Man-Eater Soul as a nice upgrade to the Merman Soul. Against enemies that linger, it lingers around a little bit, so against enemies that are slow-moving like this, it can hit multiple times. There we go. Alright, is this the way? No, this is just the armor of water. It's worse than what we have. It just basically makes you resistant to water and cold-based attacks, of which there are not many at this point. We've basically met all the enemies who do those types of attacks, and we can pretty easily defeat them. Clearly, I'm a little under-leveled for this point, given the amount of levels I'm going up, despite all the farming and grinding I've been doing. Oh, there's a mana prism up there. Yeah, it goes on there. Alright, we'll be able to get that. Don't worry. Ow. Oh, this looks bad. That's Yoko. Oh, and Graham. Oh, and he stabbed her. Yeah, well, I don't like it when people stab people I like. Yeah, he teleported away. Coward. He stabbed her. It should be fairly obvious. Oh. You mean how he was able to teleport away? Yeah, that is also a good question. Yeah. He's rather nonchalant about someone he's supposed to be relatively close to getting stabbed. Yeah, unfortunately, this is one of those we don't have a lot of say moments because all our choices are bad. Alright. This Ukabak, this little imp-like thing flying around here that's leaving fires everywhere. They're annoying. Alright, the Underground Cemetery is an important area we have to visit, so we might as well go there next. And I want to try and avoid this. I wanted to avoid that. Alright. Now we beat the Flame Demon, the upgrade to the devil we encountered earlier. Now, most of you will probably realize this, but the book we found says the first spirit is a demon from Hell's fire. So, yeah. This is the first of the three souls we need to acquire. So remember how I said there probably would be the last one? Well, unfortunately, I was wrong. There are at least two more. I say that because one of them is given. We don't have to farm one of them. This is one of them we are probably going to have to farm. Actually, no, I just have to farm it. I have to get it now. Well, I don't have to get it now, but I need to get it. So I'm going to get it now, and we'll resume in a moment. So I'll pause again. That took less than a minute. There we go. Burns enemies crystal ultra hot flames. It's actually very powerful. In fact, it is one of Dracula's signature spells from earlier Castlevania games that most people will recognize once I use it. I won't do it just now because we have other things to do. However, that is the first of the 3 souls we need to get the good ending of this game. Just gonna try and jump over these guys, not bother fighting them because there's no need. You can also see all of these corpses walking along here on the ground here, heading towards somewhere. We probably should find out what that is. So we do have a boss fight coming up. It is one of Castlevania's more famous bosses, apart from Death and Dracula. The Legion. As you can see, Curly does devastating damage to this thing. Unfortunately, it's just large enough that it's going to float around like a planetoid and ram into me. So we do have to avoid that. The Man-Eater Soul also works well here. Yeah. Basically, we just have to do a loop. The Wood Golem Soul comes in really handy here because while you're waiting, you can replenish your magic. So we have to destroy the outer shell of this thing, and then we have to attack the thing that's inside. Yeah, it also leaves those mini corpses everywhere. Oh, there we go, we're making progress now. You can see the thing that's inside there now. So it's going to start firing laser beams, as well as floating around here, which is going to add even more, make this fight even more complicated. As you can see, it also has a higher defense than the outer shell, which is odd. You would think that in the creature that forms a protective shell outside, it does so for, you know, protecting itself, because its inside is softer. Also, it starts spinning around like a ball and bouncing about the stage. It's also about this time I usually stop wasting my time chasing it around the stage, or trying to run away from it, more accurately. There's not much to be gained from that at this point. Oh, where is it? It normally follows its loop, but it might start bouncing around a little bit. There it is. Get down here. Yeah. Okay, if you didn't hear that, Soma sometimes will do a finishing statement when he's about to finish off a boss monster in one of his polymorph forms. So Legion Soul basically gives us a laser array we can conjure. It's quite powerful and devastating, but unfortunately, it does darkness damage, which all but 3 enemies in this game are resistant to. So that does limit its utility a fair bit. It also consumes a ridiculous amount of mana, so I'm not going to be using it. I can just stay ahead of these things, I don't have to fight them, which is nice. Oh, I already got your soul, I don't need you. Alright, the gold ring I just picked up there gives you more gold. So if you're ever short on it, you can equip that. And yeah, there we go. I was able to weigh them. So you're more likely to get more money worth. The enemies leave more money behind when you wear that. It's not a bad magic item. It's just these things. The upgraded version of the Fleaman. Always is a good idea to clear the way with them. Well, there's even more of them now. Yeah, they throw knives. Identical to the knife sub-weapon from the early Castlevania games. Now this soul is very important because it protects us from time manipulation. You should remember in the previous video we came to an area where we kept being sent back in time by a chronomage, the little rabbit looking thing. That soul makes us immune to its magic now, so we can go there and we can see what's behind it, which is probably a good idea. Because clearly anything they're guarding that well is important. Now, the only thing we need is a teleporter out of this area to that area to make it easier to get there. Because otherwise we have to go all the way back to the top of the castle, which I don't want to do. So that's it for this area, but there's still some stuff in the Underground Reservoir we haven't explored. Because I have to find a teleporter, and then we can, obviously... Oh yeah, now that Legion's dead, a lot of these areas have more enemies in them now. Don't ask me why. Another thing we should probably do, considering we're in the Underground Reservoir, and that adjoins to the Forbidden Area, is get the strongest sword in the game. The Mistletone's doing good, however... it is probably a good time to upgrade, because all these enemies are taking a lot more damage to kill, and I can't just spam Curly all the time. I don't have the MP for it yet. Avoid getting petrified by that Gorgon. Ow! Alright. Ah! It's just below the surface of the water. See, this is one of the problems with most of the long swords in this game. They swing directly in front of the player. They don't have the overhead swing that the great swords do. And that is rather irritating. Especially for airborne enemies like that. It's just raining merman. Alright. Alright, here's the teleporter. That's good. However, I do think this is the appropriate time to get the game's strongest weapon, so I'm going to make a detour to get that. Ah! The game will, of course, try and prevent me from doing that. Avoid the fruit these dryads throw at you. They're like leech seed from Pokemon. They just sap your health constantly for a fair bit of damage. Alright. You I can just jump over. Alright. Here it is. This is what we need. We need the Curly Soul and we need Undine. And there we go. We're through. Now this S.A.N is technically the strongest armor in the game. Gives me a considerable increase to defense. No other armor has the high defense boost as this. However, I like the intelligence boost. And there are some better equipment stat-wise spread out than the S.A.N. So I usually go for those. Alright, we're now in the forbidden area again. The way we're supposed to enter. And we have to listen to the music from the start of the game. Yeah, as you can see. Now the downside to this is this area has a lot of very strong enemies in it. Including were-jaguars, which I hate. Alright, we want to head this way. Almost made it through. This is it. This is the area that has the strongest weapon in the game. Just ignore these harpies because they're not very important, and we need Skilla Soul once more. I'm just going to keep calling it Skilla because I'm pretty sure that's what it's meant to be. Don't ask me how these harpies are maneuvering underwater, but they are. Alright, you want to attack this wall, which I will do as soon as I kill this harpy. Never mind, it's easier to just destroy the wall. Here it is. The Claim Soulless. The most powerful weapon in the game. It has an attack power at this point of 70 greater than the Mistletoe, and it boosts all my other stats except luck. And it's an overhead greatsword that does holy damage. There is very little in this game that can stand up to it. Watch. Not only that, it boosts my defense, so I am actually harder to kill while I equip it. Have it equipped. Alright, there is more to this area, but there is basically nothing that will match the two, the sword I just picked up. But yeah, it also will cut through most airborne enemies quite quickly because of the amount of damage it does. There you go. I have the strongest weapon in the game now. There's very little in it that can stand up to me at this point. There you go. And this is the way back into the study. The reason I'm going this way is because there's a save point right up here. Right, now I'm doing close to 300 points of damage per swing against some of these enemies. Then again, the bone pillars are weak to holy damage. But then again, a whole bunch of enemies in this game basically are. Ha! Yeah, picking up this sword was the right decision now. It does make the rest of the game a lot easier, but it's quite obvious that you want this. Alright. Now that I have this weapon, it's time to head back to the inner quarters and see what that chronomage was guarding. Ha! Stay away. Don't tempt me to just start killing all of you because your soul is actually quite useful for an upcoming boss fight. I promise I'm not trying to farm them on camera at the moment. It's just that they're all really, really annoying. Ah! If I actually do end up getting the soul, though, I won't complain. Without a doubt, the most annoying Castlevania enemy ever. Alright, it's on the pass back that I have to... Ah! I fell off. Ah! I almost had it! Welcome to Medusa Head Killer Simulator 2024. Why did Konami have to make these one of the enemies of the game that just spawns endlessly? Ah. Oh, for crying. Well, it's not like It's not guaranteed that if I had killed 4 more of those Medusa heads, I would have gotten their soul. It's a random percentage chance every time you kill one. Okay, I did get their soul though. Ability to stop midair. That will come in very handy in a boss fight that we may or may not get to today, depending on how long this takes. It does make that boss really, really easy though. You don't know what the irony is? I'm pretty sure it would have taken me less time to backtrack to another teleporter at this point. Actually, you know what? Yeah. I don't want this to eat up the entire video. It's probably eaten up way too long. But at least I got something out of it that I'm going to need. As strange as it's going to sound, it's probably going to be easier to get to the teleporter in the next area, which we have to go to anyway. I'll come back for that off camera. Yeah. Arikido has taken Yoko away to be treated. Nothing important down there as far as I recall. Now we've reached the arena. And this is the point in the game where all the enemies start getting really tough. This killer mantle, this red cloth that's flying around, its soul has a very unique ability, which is important, which is kind of required to kill a very specific enemy in this game. As much as I'd like to demonstrate that, it's probably not mandatory. It's not mandatory, it's not even necessary. Alright. Like I said, took us less time to get here than it would have been to get to the other one. Let's go back and check on Mina, Yoko, and buy some potions. And then we'll go to the inner quarters. Well, she was stabbed. Get your potions, healer? Yeah, this is one of those things in games which make absolutely no sense. That the potions that he has is perfectly fine for treating all our injuries, but a knife to the stomach, they can't heal for some reason. So yeah, he kind of continues to hit on her throughout the rest of this game and the sequel. Alright, I can sell both those swords. And the Eversing, because I'm not using it. And the Armor of Water, this pendant, and the gold ring. Because there's plenty of money for potions now. Suppose I might as well scroll through here. I have the best weapon in the game, so there's no point in that. Crimson Cloak. Yeah, let's buy one of those. The Soul Eater Ring makes it much easier to capture souls from enemies. It is massively expensive, but if you're a completionist, it is probably worth it. Yeah, she does know Yoko. Yeah, Yoko is basically, what's that, like, basically like a surrogate older sister to Mina. Well, Soma, the best we can do is try and find an escape route still. Alright, this is the inner quarters. And I should be able to massacre everything in here with the Claim Solace. Even the Valkyrie, which is resisted... Well, it's resistant to holy damage, but I think it's actually vulnerable to just regular sword damage. Yeah, whenever you see that flash of light, that means the enemy is weak to holy damage, or the... And whenever you see the actual blood splatter like that, they're weak to sword damage. Yeah, so let's back up this way through the boss room. Just going off the time we have left here in the video before we reach the hour mark, I'm pretty sure we're not getting to the next boss today. But we're going to be covering a whole bunch of other things, which will be very important for the remainder of the game. Speaking of remainder of the game, there isn't an awful lot left. Yeah, that's not going to work this time. Oh, if you get his soul, you can stop time. Alright. That's the second ancient book. The second spirit is the King of Bats. This is the soul we don't have to farm, by the way. We'll be getting it after the next boss. I also got the Dane's Leaf, or Dane's Leaf, if you want the... it says the ultimate magical sword, despite the fact that this magical sword is much stronger than in every way. And the fact that you can easily get the Claim Solace before coming here just renders it kind of useless. I think they corrected that in the next game by making the Dane's Leaf easier to get. So we now have... yeah, that doesn't work anymore. We have 2 of the 3 books, and we have 1 of the 3 souls we need. So we're making good progress. There isn't much of this game left. So my initial estimate of like 4 to 5 videos, I think I'm looking at the time we have left and how much of the game we have left. I think it is going to be more, it's going to be 5, which is probably a nice round number. In fact, I'm probably going to ensure that we can get it done in 5 videos. In the sense that if it looks like it'll go longer, like to 6, unless it's overly long, like another hour, I'll just do a longer final video. That's what I'm saying. Alright. Because we still have to explore the arena. And there's 10 minutes left in the video, even though we can just teleport straight there. Ah, watch out for the beam skeletons. They do a lot of damage. Alright, this elevator shaft. Yeah, they say they claim Solus as well. It takes out those undead crusaders in one swing. And this area is kind of, well, it isn't elevator shaft. Alright, this red Minotaur, its soul technically does the most damage of any of them in the game. Unfortunately, it does regular strike damage. So, technically speaking, some other souls might be able to class it due to weaknesses and such things. It also is very, very, very expensive. I'm not going to be utilizing it. I decided to point out to you, though, if anyone who is planning on using this game as a guide, which is still a possibility, I suppose, this video series, you could find out where these things are. This is a very nice area to farm them, because there's 2 of them. And yeah. Every weapon in this game left is inferior to the Claim Solus, so it's all going to get sold. So more and more of them, please, so I can sell them for supplies. There we go. Plunge on my health, and I actually was able to replace the potion. I like doing that. Yeah, they poison you. Ah! Ah! Yeah, we can't go up that way just yet. Actually, I take it back. I was able to get here relatively quickly. We can't go up and explore that other area without the soul I was talking about, so... Yeah. Oh, these doors here on the side, they lead to, like, challenges, basically, in this arena. They have some pretty rare equipment on the other side. It's not the best equipment. I'm going to equip the Medusa Head Soul, because Curly's is unfortunately useless in this fight, as is the Witch. And I need it. So you can go there if you want, but I'm not doing it now. I'm actually probably not going to do it at all, because the equipment in the long run is inferior. Alright, time for quite possibly the hardest boss in the game. Anyway, in a lot of ways. Not the bat. The thing that just killed the bat. This is Balor. And, there's very few tricks to him. Unfortunately, he just does a lot of damage, as you can see. So the strategy for him is basically jump off his fists to attack his eye. The Claim Solus actually has enough of an overhead arch to actually hit him normally without it. Ow. As I say this, I'm taking tons of damage. And the other nice thing about the Claim Solus is obviously the damage output it does. As you can see, I'm getting flung around here a lot, and I'm needing to heal quite frequently. This is why I call him one of the hardest, possibly the hardest boss in the game. I suppose the final boss is harder. Alright. And this is why the Medusa Head Soul makes this second phase so easy. You just float here with the Wood Golem and Medusa Head Soul. You can float there, just swing away, and before your MP empties, you can kill him. That being said, he is one of the most stressful boss fights in the entire game, even though I made it look really easy there. Reminder for anyone who has any thoughts on that, I have played through this game about a dozen times. And now we get the giant bat, the second of the 3 souls we need. This gives us the classic vampire ability to transform into a bat and fly. Since at this point you're probably realizing that the souls we're gaining access to in the ancient books are all spells and abilities related to Dracula. This will become clear why. And now we run to Jay again. I'm going to take a drink of water. He's recovering his memories. If you thought no member of the Belmont family was going to make an appearance in this game, I'm sorry. You do not know Castlevania at all. This is Julius Belmont, is Jay's real name, and he's the latest descendant of the Belmont clan. And as you can see, he was the main driving force behind Dracula's destruction back in 1999. There were others who assisted him, though, obviously. It was a group effort. Yes, the vampire killer, he doesn't have at the moment, but it's in the castle. Yeah, the hunch that Julius is talking about there is going to come to light, shall we say, in probably the next video. Alright, we had a lot of revelations there, and we're nearing the end, and we had a big boss fight. This feels like a good place to stop. So, yeah, a lot happened. We're 2/3 of the way done with our preparations for getting the good ending. I will look up where to find the 3rd book just so I know where to get it. I know I'm making this a lot harder than myself needs to be. I know exactly which soul we need, and it will probably be the last one I need to farm. Because I do need it, and it is a regular enemy soul, and you'd need to farm it to get it, in all likelihood. So that will be dealt with next time. In the meantime, this is a good time as any time. We're nearing the end of the year, so Christmas holidays are coming up. So I do tend to take the week from Christmas to New Year's off making videos, so I will be doing that. I'll cover that in my other videos, and I'll do a post for anyone who wants to know about that, but the reason I'm bringing this up now is that means we won't be picking up Aria of Sorrow again until the new year, because Solasta will probably be the last video I work on. Christmas is on a Wednesday this time, so I usually do the last Wednesday before Christmas, but Christmas is the last Wednesday of the same week, so I can just do that beforehand, schedule it to go up on Christmas Day, and it'll be a Christmas present to all of you, and that will be that. However, unfortunately, that does mean I won't be picking up Aria of Sorrow again until the new year. I'll see you all then. I hope you all enjoy your good holidays. I'll wish you that now. And in the meantime, thank you for watching, everyone. Please remember to like and subscribe. And please join me here again next time as we near the end game of Castlevania Aria of Sorrow already. And we are possibly going to be finding our exits soon. And also, the confrontation with Graham is coming up because it's not really a spoiler. I think that's just obvious we're heading to that point now. But before that, we have a bit more research and one more soul to find. Goodbye, everyone.